Hey everybody, it's Valen with Mischief of Mice, here today with another Guild Wars 2 episode on the Engineer Elite Specialization, the Scrapper. This one here is pretty cool. It uses the hammer as its extra weapon, and as you can see here, it definitely adds in a few extra skills, like lots of gyros, which for some reason I keep wanting to call them gyros and thinking that I'm throwing sandwiches out there. But that aside, we've got a lot of stuff to go over, so let's get to it. We've got, here we go, the Scrapper. You start off getting a function gyro, excuse me, gyro to either revive a fallen ally or finish off a fallen enemy. So this could be useful in PvP. It doesn't really take any time at all to use it. It's just this option here. You click it and out it comes to take care of things for you. Now, you also have these other options here. Shocking speed. Use a leap finisher or blast finisher in a lightning field. Applies super speed to you. And it also does allied targets. Plus, there's another one when a function gyro is activated, you and the function gyro gain stability. So that's kind of cool, but I mean it is fairly situational. You're not going to find a lot of there are certain areas that you'll find this very useful when you've got like in PvE, but you know, it can have its limitations. Then you've got recovery matrix. Using your heal skill temporarily reduces damage you receive, which I ended up doing that one because it just made... I'm going with defensive builds while I do these demos here. But then you also get Decisive Renown. When you successfully revive an ally or finish an enemy, most likely with the help of your function gyro, you grant boons to nearby allies, which is pretty cool. So even without you stopping to do anything, you might be giving them bonuses. Then rapidly regenerate on rapid regeneration. Health while affected by swiftness or super speed. Some good synergy there. Then you've got stunning or dazing a foe applies vulnerability and weakness to them. That's pretty cool if you build for that. Then you've got gain power based on your toughness, gain might while you have stability. So this is more just for building damage, which, I mean, you're using a hammer, you're going to need to be doing it while you're up front. You're going to also need that extra toughness because you're going to be using a up-close melee weapon, which is not usually typical for an engineer. Then the duration of your outgoing stuns is impact savant, of course. Duration of your outgoing stuns is increased, and the duration of stuns applied to you is decreased. And the outgoing stun on the hammer is here, which right there, 1.25 seconds is standard. But it will increase that by 25%. Then you've got adaptive armor, gain stacking toughness when struck, reduce incoming condition damage. Actually, no, I think I've already got that on there. What if I chose a different specialization? That would probably drop. So I think that is increased from this. Sorry. Adaptive armor, gain stacking toughness when struck. Reduce incoming condition damage. So this is kind of cool. Maximum stacks 5. Every time you get hit, your condition damage is reduced by 20%. And your toughness goes up by 100, lasting up to 10 seconds, it looks like. Oh, no, it's just a flat 20% condition damage. I was about to say that's a lot more powerful than I thought, but it's just a flat 20% and your toughness will go up. So that can really be helpful if you're frontlining and you need that extra armor. Now you've got Final Salvo. Gyros grant super speed and create a lightning field when destroyed, which you have a whole lot of gyros to choose from. There's 6 that you could choose from and 5 you can have in your bar at any time. Including your... Actually, I guess there's a 7th one if you include this guy here. So that's pretty cool, considering that you could be popping these out. Looking at the recharges on there, they're all about 25-30 seconds. Yeah. So you could be popping a bunch of those out and gaining this ability here, which could be cool. And then hammer skills deal increased damage. Evading an attack grants stability. So that sounds pretty cool. If you end up missing the dodge, you still get the stability and therefore might still be able to avoid being knocked out or, you know, stunned, launched, pulled, whatever. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Though because you're up close with an engineer, which is not that high of an armor base, you tend to be a little bit more squishy, so you got to play a little more cautious. Now, you do end up, by choosing this gyro, I believe, you notice there that skill did change. Oops, so let me switch back here. You gain a new skill, and that is Reconstruction Field. Establish a defensive field granting protection to allies in its area. This is up to 5 targets, pulses several times, and lasts for a few seconds. Which it's a water combo field. You don't see those too often, unless you're an elementalist. But, I mean, it's a really big area, though. So that's pretty cool. Then you've got your standard hammer attacks here, which you can't really read them while I'm cycling through them. So I'm going to focus on some of the other abilities here. Let's send out a blast gyro. Hurl a tracking dart for this guy to go out and just blow them up. Which, actually, let me pick this guy here. And we'll toss one. And then he shoots out there, and you have the option of blowing him up early. But yeah, explosions. So you can definitely spec for explosions as an engineer. And then you've got your bulwark gyro, which is very defensive. He reduces incoming damage. So if you're having a tough time, your healing skill's on cooldown or something, you need to last a little bit longer, then you might be able to send this guy out. But of course you can also explode him a little early. Now it does have a little bit of a delay there, like 3/4 of a second, so keep that in mind. The bad guys might make it away before you're able to detonate that. But hey, that works with any of them. I believe any of the gyros you can detonate early. They don't do a lot of damage, but they do an area blast where they're at least a little one. A little 240 radius. Then you've got your Purge Gyro. Deploy a Purge Gyro to remove conditions from you and your nearby allies. And it removes 2 conditions at a time, recharges every 3 seconds, and he's out there for 15 seconds. So, you can see these guys are just, they look pretty cool. You can have multiples out at once. No, I can't target an enemy. Let's bring this guy out as well. So you can have yourself surrounded by gyros. And of course, they explode after a bit of time. Then you've got your, let's see, I did not choose this one, so let's pick the other guy here. Your Shredder Gyro. Deploy a Shredder Gyro to whirl at a target location, striking foes and using combo fields. This guy here will go to basically take out some bad guys. Let's pick this guy here, and we will aim there. And he just appears in that area and starts shredding away. Now, regrettably, the enemy moved away, so you can see the downside of this one. But if you're in a big group of baddies, you could just lure them in and then do it there. So let's bring this guy out and start whacking away at the hyena, taking less damage since my bulwark gyro is out. And you can see this the hammer has some electrical effects as it's being used, which is, let's see, starting off at the beginning. We're going to wait for that to cool back down into non-combat mode. There we go. We've got positive strike. Smack your hammer into a foe while empowering yourself, so you gain some might. Then you get another damage with vulnerability, with, of course, multiple targets. So you get 3 targets on this, so that's cool. And then the last one does might and vulnerability and an even bigger damage boost. So just like a guardian with a hammer, you are going to be using this and making sure that you get that 3rd hit if possible, and not just doing a smack and a run away. You want to keep hitting the target so you can get that big boom. And if you're going to walk away or change to another skill, then you do it after the 3rd strike. So then we've got Electro Whirl, spin around, reflecting missiles and hitting enemies. Very cool stuff. I mean, it's another missile reflection, so it's going to shut down a few classes for at least a couple of seconds. Maybe just one or so, but either way, it's pretty cool, very impressive to use on the field, and it's a combo finisher, Whirl. Then you've got Rocket Charge. This one here is kind of inaccurate, but definitely cool to use. I don't know. I'm not going to make it for that guy in time. Here we go. There's a likely candidate. Jump in, doing 3 strikes to an area, attacking the foe that you ended up targeting. Let's attack this guy here. And then you've got Shock Shield. Magnetize your hammer, blocking attacks while striking foes in front of you. So you can block attacks and you're doing some damage at the same time. Very cool, and it's got a similar visual effect to a one of the oh, I can't remember the class thing for some reason. I'm just blanking right now. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Thunderclap. Ionize an area, bringing down the power of lightning to stun foes and damage them over its duration. Let's choose this spot here. And you can see that's pretty effective. Let's double it up with a Shredder. Which the Shredder guy doesn't do too much damage, but he does affect a radius. So if you have a whole lot of bad guys nearby, and he sits around for quite a while, it can be quite effective. And I missed, the guy died before I was able to actually get that. But yeah, there's definitely some cool stuff in here, but you do have to be a little more cautious as a player, and therefore I think I probably should have taken that trait where you end up getting the extra toughness after taking so many hits. Just because I seem to be a bit squishier than like your typical high armor class specs with stuff like this. Let's take this, and we're going to pop this guy out here, and there we are.
Nothing can bring me down.
Good stuff. And, oh, going on with the gyros. So we've got the Elite Gyro, which is deploy a sneak gyro to provide stealth to nearby allies. This is pretty cool. You know, everybody's in the area. Now he'll just keep pulsing it in the area that he's at, so it is possible for you to get out in front and it to eventually wear off. Let's see if it actually, yeah. And he's still trying to catch up, so it is going to limit your speed with this as it goes. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it definitely gives an area effect, and once again, these guys stick around for quite a while. And then, of course, you can just choose to end his existence and have him self-destruct there, which is just all around good fun. Now you have this guy, but I don't have any targets to actually use the function gyro on, so I'd have to pick a target, I believe, before I'd be able to do that. Oh, there's somebody with a dragon hunter going on over here. Let's see if we can do some of this fun stuff here. Bring that out, and this guy, him out, and him out, just so that I end up not taking much more damage, and I get healed. It's got some good stuff, but like the engineer, it's very high specialization in with the weapons that you use, which makes sense because you only have the one to choose from. You know, you don't get to switch back and forth as an engineer. But yeah, definitely a lot of fun, and I say it's worth a try for those that are interested. It switches up the playstyle of the engineer quite a bit, and gives you a whole new feel for it. So overall, not too bad. I like it pretty much. I always have been a big fan of the hammer, and this one is being used as it's intended, a melee weapon. So, if you guys like the video, please give me a like, comment, or subscribe. And until next time, see ya.